Hello, everybody. We're the McCain Brothers on location with Mr. Telly Savalas. How are you, Telly? It's an honor to meet you, really.
Pretty good, thanks.
Sir.
Yeah. Hey, Jack, nice to see you.
Good to see you. Butch met your brother, George, years ago in Amarillo, Texas.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I just got into the business, and he was really my first star interview, and gem of a guy.
Oh,
really
George
liked
was
him.
something.
Yeah, I spoke very highly of you, too.
Yeah, well, you better. He was my brother.
That's right, yeah.
You guys had some good times together working on Kojak.
Memorable times even before Kojak. He was a dear guy, George.
We want to talk a little bit about you coming back with your new movie, Kojak, coming back as a movie in just a few minutes. But first, let's talk about how you got into the business. We have something in common, and that is that we worked news. I still work news, and you worked news for a while.
Oh, yeah. In fact, most of my career were as news and special events with the State Department, when one of their functions was the Voice of America. So I was into propaganda and news there, interviewing a lot of renowned people. And from there, I went to ABC. There I was, doing news and special events, covering the fights, you know, with Don Dunphy. I guess you two guys are too young to remember Don Dunphy. Probably the best boxing announcer who ever lived. He was great, play-by-play on radio. And that's where I met Howard Cosell for the first time. But he wasn't a sportscaster then. He was a very successful lawyer. Dear guy. And I'm responsible for starting Howard Cosell. I'm the slob who put him on the air. But he...
Blame all those big words on you.
Well, he's great. I love Howard, and he's just as controversial the first day he went on the air as he is today.
Telly, how did you make the transition from the news business into acting?
That's one of those accidents, you know. That's one of those turns of fate and life that you can't predict. Well, there I was in my office. I get a call from the theatrical agent saying, Mr. Savalas, we need someone to play an old European judge on television. We need someone with a documentary accent. We don't want to use an American making believe he's a foreigner. Can you help us? Well, with my experience with the United Nations and with the State Department, I knew all the commentators and actors from behind the Iron Curtain, and I knew just the guy. Except I couldn't get in touch with them. And I forgot about the appointment. So the agent calls back the next day saying, Mr. Savalas, you put me on the spot. No one came. I says, make another appointment. And she did. I still couldn't get him. So as a total gag, I went with my phony accent. And I said to the script. So they handed me a script, and I read it in my struggling English. To my surprise, the producer comes up to me and says, you're a little young for this part, but would you do it? I didn't know what the hell to tell him. I said, I will call you tomorrow. I go home that night to my mother, and I say, Ma, they want me to do this television show. They're going to pay me $300 or whatever it was. What do you think? Telly, do it. You'll be a glorious actor. From that day to this, I haven't looked back. That's life.
Yeah, that's right. And Kojak is back.
And Kojak is back.
Yeah.
You're not doing a 1 hour, but you're doing a 2-hour movie.
That's the reason I'm coming back, and I'm glad ABC is going that route. We can do shows of substance and of importance, I'm sure. And that's why I'm happy that Kojak is coming back in this new format.
What can we expect to see Kojak doing this year?
Well, you can expect him to be 10 years older. That for one. You expect new situations and new stimuli in life. Yeah, he was in a violent world in 1974 or 5 or 6. But he's in a more violent world today. And one thing I liked about the character is that he never used violence as a first choice. Kojak was the kind of a guy who tried to talk away from something or walk away from a fight, and as a last resort, he'd use violence. That will remain the same. That characteristic, worthy of emulation by our youth, will be a definite for Kojak. But let's see what happens. You know, I'll be as surprised as you. Rest assured, though, he'll be different.
Well, we look forward to seeing you play Kojak again. Telly Savalas, thank you very much for this time.
Yeah, appreciate it.
You owe me George's tape.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, yeah.
He's going to send it to you.
That's great.
I'll make sure, okay?
He had a little more hair than you do.
He lied.
Is that right?
Wherever he is in heaven, I'll let my hair grow and make a liar out of it.
Thank you, Telly Savalas.